This might be the most controversial thing I've ever said on my YouTube channel, but I do not like photographing fall colors. I don't know what it is, I just don't like photographing them. In my opinion, it's either give me all green leaves or no leaves at all. Now, moving on from that, a bit of a hard truth. No one cares about your photography as much as you do, no matter how hard you try. In the moment someone has liked your post and moved on and kept scrolling, they've already forgotten about the work that you were so proud of and excited to share. Now, with these two things in mind, why do we spend so much time focused on what others will think and spend most of our time worrying about how many likes or views our post is going to get? It's a hard pill to swallow, but if you only treat your photography as content, then that's exactly how others are going to treat it as well. Now, this is a topic I talk about a lot on my YouTube channel because it's something that has personally affected me a lot over the years as a photographer. But if you don't know me, I'm Dylan. I'm a photographer here in North Carolina. I take photos and make videos as well occasionally. I spent years trying to grow an Instagram following and curate a feed that evoked a certain feeling. I found myself only taking photos for the sake of Instagram. And what I mean by that is I cared more about how my photos looked on my profile than how they appeared on their own. If there were too many portraits on my feed, I would go out and shoot some kind of cityscape or landscape to help break up the monotony, not because I actually wanted to. I would purposely avoid taking photos just because I've already posted too many photos like that recently that looked like that or had the same composition or the same lighting. And while that was a long time ago, I still do pay careful attention to how my photos look when I post on Instagram and which one I want to be the cover photo on my profile. But the biggest difference is now I started taking photos that I actually wanted to take, photos that bring me some kind of joy. Now for a little bit of a story time. I was at a wedding recently and I ran into someone that I haven't seen since 2017, maybe 2016, right around the time I started taking photography a little bit more seriously. And we didn't really remember each other. But then when I brought up my name, he suddenly got really excited because he remembered that I was the photographer that he had been following on Instagram for years now. And he brought up my Route 66 photos and how much he loved them, which I thought was really, really cool because, I don't have a whole lot of people compliment me on my photography in person. Online, it's one thing, but it felt different hearing it actually from someone, like speaking to them, face to face. And I had another one of my friends there with me when I had that conversation with him, and he had to leave and do something. He was a part of the wedding party. But my friend was just as surprised as I was. And for a moment, I actually felt kind of cool. But still, that's not why I take photos. Now, of course, I was very thankful, but I'm just not used to that kind of validation because it felt so much more real compared to someone just leaving a comment on one of my photos. For the first couple years as a photographer, I almost exclusively shot portraits of models because that's what got likes, and I could not afford to travel to these extravagant places like Iceland and wherever else to take photos that would get even more likes. And I did well. I mean, people knew me for the photos I would shoot of models. And it was that moment at the wedding that I think opened my eyes to the different kinds of validation. There's meaningless validation that will leave you feeling empty or give you no gratification whatsoever, like comments or likes on Instagram. And then there's what I guess I would call thoughtful validation that leaves an actual lasting impact. So keep that in mind when you're speaking to other photographers or artists in general. You never know how much of an impact that small compliment can have. It could be that push that that photographer or artist needed to keep going and keep doing what they love. And I'm not saying you should take photos just because you're seeking some kind of validation. If that's why you take photos, then you're taking photos for all of the wrong reasons. And when I stopped shooting portraits and started shooting what I actually enjoyed, let me just make it clear that there is nothing wrong with shooting portraits. If that's what you enjoy, obviously, keep shooting portraits. Nothing wrong with that. But when I stopped shooting portraits and started shooting the type of photos I do now, I started seeing my photos get a fraction of the amount of likes on Instagram that they used to get. Now, that could have been because Instagram started going through some changes and, videos and reels started doing better rather than photos, but the impact was definitely still there. Now, I could have let that discourage me and gone right back to what I was doing before, but I did not. But I kept pushing and pushing and pushing and taking the photos that I actually wanted to take and posting them on Instagram. And for a long time, it did not do very well. And it was around that time that I started this YouTube channel and gained a little bit of traction. And that certainly helped me find the audience that I was looking for the type of photos I was taking. I wanted to take photos that could appeal to everyone, especially to other photographers. When I was shooting portraits, I did not care about other photographers following me. I only wanted non photographers to, so I could find people to book photo shoots. And with what I'm doing now, it took a lot of time. I've told this story many times, but I love making these videos because it affords me the ability to not worry about other people booking photo shoots with me. Now I can make these videos taking the photos I actually want to take. And sharing these photos on Instagram led me to some pretty cool opportunities. So, what I'm trying to say is if you want others to care about your photography, you have to be happy with the photos you're taking first. I'm not saying every photo has to be a grand story or a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I believe if you're happy with what you're creating in the photos you're taking, then that will shine through and others will be able to recognize that. And just because you're not getting the likes or the comments or the follows that you want, it doesn't mean that other people don't care. And most of the people who probably enjoy what you do don't even spend that much time on Instagram anymore, anyways. And I'm willing to bet that most people who do care about what you do probably are not spending most of their time on Instagram. And if they are, they're probably not scrolling. They're probably looking at stories or in their DMs. So share your stuff on your stories. And that's how people will actually see what you do on Instagram nowadays, because Instagram is so much fun now. And that's why I don't post on Instagram that much anymore. Yep, this is just something that has been on my mind a lot recently. It stays on my mind pretty much all of the time. So if you have any thoughts or comments on this topic, please leave a comment down below. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to help support the channel. If you want to support the channel even further, you can become a member to see videos just like this one early. And I hope I could inspire you guys to get out and take more photos. Go out and shoot.